Hi, I'm Arjun Singh. As Yash Raj Films completes 50 years of its existence this year, here are six of my favorite YRF films, which I think also provide a good sample of their varied work over the past 5 decades. To start with, one of my childhood favorites from 1979, Kala Patthar. This film was very special to me when I was growing up, or really to anyone of my generation who was obsessed with Amitabh Bachchan's roles as the brooding anti hero with the slow burn temper. He plays a version of Joseph Conrad's Lord Jim here. In this case, the character expiates his guilt by working in a coal mine. The big set pieces in this film and the things that little boys like me loved the most were the macho clashes between Bachchan and Shatrughan Sinha, who were also rivals off screen. The tempering influence is provided by the non-violent characters played by Rakhi and Shashi Kapoor. And all of it adds up to a larger-than-life action drama, which is among the best of the many multi-starrers that Yash Chopra directed. Coming to the second film, this is Chandni from 1989. And as a youngster, the romantic triangle movie was far from my favorite film genre. But Chandni was an important exception to this rule. This is the very essence of YRF as it used to be in a certain era. The YRF that so many people have loved for years. Beautiful people in beautiful settings, location shooting in Switzerland, the cliche of the chiffon saris, melodious songs one after another, the constant movement between tradition and modernity, and the theme of love interrupted or foiled, which was a big part of the YRF romances going right back to Daag and Kabhi Kabhi and Noori. And of course, most importantly, Sridevi at the glorious peak of her career, which is one of the biggest peaks that any Hindi movie star has ever had. The third film is Lamhe, which came out in 1991. This film has developed a cult following, though it wasn't a big hit originally. The subject, which has the Anil Kapoor character Viren becoming romantically involved with the daughter of the woman he had once been smitten by, was seen as controversial at the time. On one level, this is very much a romantic YRF film that continues the tradition of films like Silsila and Chandni. But on another level, the darker aspects of this story, that is, Viren's obsession and the tiny hint of incest, also point the way forward to edgier treatments of love in Hindi cinema, including the film that YRF made just a couple of years after this, Dar. Lamhe was released at the beginning of a decade when both India and Hindi cinema were starting to see some big changes. And with hindsight, this is also the beginning of a new era for YRF. The fourth film, Jhoom Barabar Jhoom, which came out in 2007 and which is very much part of that new era. This is an unabashed musical in the fullest sense of that word, not just in the sense that Hindi cinema was accustomed to using it. This is a film that was unafraid to take risks and go for the big operatic moment, even if it meant falling flat once in a while, but the hits definitely outweigh the misses. This is also in a way one of YRF's most purely romantic films, with its theme of two people played by Preity, Zinta and Abhishek Bachchan, growing interested in each other, telling each other lies about fictitious partners, and then going and finding people to play the roles of those partners. So what is happening here is that this is an unusual film in a formal sense, being a narrative musical, but it's also unusual in its treatment of love as performance, as self-presentation, and as narrative construction. The fifth film is very different from the others. This is the 2014 film Titli. Even though YRF has made quite a range of films in the past decade or so, Titli is still one film that I find difficult to think of as a YRF film. But it was produced by Diwakar Banerjee, directed by the very talented Kanu Behel, and it is one of the darkest Hindi movies of its year. It's a story about a predatory, unhappy, self-cannibalizing family and the young man who wants to try and escape it, much like a butterfly fleeing the trap of its chrysalis. There's lots of profanity here. There is the sort of indie movie cussing that you would once never have associated with Yash Raj films. And there's some visceral violence as well. but it all feels completely organic to the story. It doesn't feel gratuitous at all. And the sixth film, the 2016 film Fan. Now, Shahrukh Khan has made so many very popular films with YRF, it might seem strange to pick this one. But I see Fan as a culmination of sorts. It's a story that completes the circle that began with Shahrukh stalking Juhi Chawla in Dar in 1993. Here he is stalking himself in a double role as a superstar and an obsessed fan. This is a meta film that involves postmodernist commentary on cinema. What is our relationship with movie stars? Are fans puppets who dance to the tune of their screen idols, or is it really the other way around? And it's always very interesting, I feel, when a big superstar participates in such a process of deconstruction. Of course, the theme of screen personas vis-a-vis the real people behind those personas might also remind you of a much earlier Yash Raj film, Silsila, which generated a lot of interest because of what we thought we knew about the real lives of the principal actors. Perhaps it's possible to see Fan as continuing that tradition as well.